My friend, let me tell you something that will change your life. You were not put on this earth by chance. You were born breathing, hoping, dreaming, because God himself ordained it. You are here on purpose, for a purpose, for a purpose. Look around you. The stars don't wander the sky without direction. The tides don't rise and fall without a rhythm. And you were not placed here without a divine plan. Maybe you felt lost. Maybe you've wondered, why am I here? But I'm here to declare, your life is no accident. The very breath in your lungs is proof that God isn't finished with you yet. Bernanke, you've faced battles. Oh, I know you have. But those trials, they weren't meant to break you. They were meant to build you. Every tear, every struggle, every moment you wanted to quit, it was preparing you, because the world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs you, your voice, your heart, your story. So wake up, child of destiny. Today is the day you stop doubting and start believing. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, not to hide, but to shine, not to wander, but to rise. You were born for this. Now, let's walk into that purpose together. Sue! My dear friend, I want you to stop for just a moment and let this truth sink deep into your soul. You are not a mistake. You are not an accident. You are not some random collision of cells, some cosmic roll of the dice. No, you were chosen. You were planned. You were intended by the very hand of God. Think about that. Before the stars were hung in the sky, before the mountains were set in place, before time itself began, God knew you. He saw you. He shaped you in his mind and said, this life will matter. You are not here by chance. You are here by divine appointment. Maybe right now you don't feel that way. Maybe life has beaten you down so hard that you've started to believe the lie that you don't belong, that you don't have a place, that no one would even notice if you were gone. But I'm here to tell you, that's not the truth. The truth is, the world would not be the same without you. There is a you-sized hole in this universe that no one else can fill. Look at your hands. Those hands were made to create, to heal, to hold, to help. Look at your heart. That heart was made to love, to dream, to fight for what's right. Every moment, every struggle, every joy has been leading you somewhere. You are not drifting. You are not forgotten. You are being guided. Some of you were told you were unwanted. Maybe a parent walked away. Maybe someone you loved made you feel small. Maybe the world has whispered in your ear, you don't belong. But God is shouting over all those lies. I wanted you. I made you. I made you. I have a place for you. Think of a master painter standing before a blank canvas. He doesn't just throw colors randomly. Every stroke is deliberate. Every shade, every line, every shadow is placed with purpose. And friend, you are God's masterpiece. He didn't just throw you together. He crafted you. He shaped your smile, your laugh, your talents, even your scars. All of it was part of his design. Maybe you've spent years believing you weren't good enough. Maybe you've compared yourself to others and thought, why can't I be like that? But God didn't make you to be someone else. He made you to be you. There is no one else in all of history with your voice, your heart, your story, and the world needs what only you can give. Some of you are sitting there thinking, but you don't know what I've done. You don't know how broken I am. And you're right, I don't know your past. But I know this, your mistakes don't erase your purpose. Your failures don't cancel God's plan. In fact, sometimes the very things you think disqualify you are the things God will use the most. Look at the heroes of faith. Moses stuttered, David fell into sin. Peter denied Jesus. Paul persecuted the church. And yet God used them in ways they never could have imagined. Why? Because he doesn't call the perfect. He perfects the called. And friend, you are called. Maybe right now you can't see the full picture. Maybe the road ahead looks dark, and you're wondering if any of this is true. But faith isn't about seeing. It's about trusting that the God who formed the galaxies also formed you. Trusting that the one who holds the oceans in his hands also holds your life. Trusting that even when you feel lost, he knows where you are, and he's leading you forward. So today, I want you to do something. I want you to accept this truth. Not just hear it, believe it. Let it sink into your bones. Let it change the way you see yourself. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are wanted. You are chosen. You are loved. And most of all, you were made for more. Now lift your head, straighten your shoulders, take a deep breath, because the God who created you is not done with you yet. Your story is still being written, and the best, the very best, is still to come. There's a question that haunts every human heart. Why am I here? Maybe you've asked it in the quiet of the night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if your life really matters. Maybe you've looked at the endless cycle of days, work, eat, sleep, repeat, and thought, is this all there is? Let me tell you something that will change everything. Your life is not small. Your existence is not meaningless. You were not born just to pay bills, chase comforts, and then fade away. No, you were placed on this earth for a divine reason. There is a purpose woven into your very being, a calling stamped on your soul by God Himself. You see, the world will try to shrink your life down to what you can see. Your job, your bank account, your social status. But God sees so much more. He doesn't measure your worth by earthly standards. He doesn't define you by your failures or your victories. He looks at you and sees eternity. He sees the lives you will touch, the love you will spread, the light you will carry into dark places. That is why you're here. Some of you feel invisible. You think no one notices me. No one would care if I were gone. But God notices. He sees every silent tear, every act of kindness no one thanked you for, every time you kept going when you wanted to quit. Good. And He says, you matter. What you do matters, because I am working through you. Think of a single drop of water. On its own, it seems insignificant. But when it joins a river, it helps carve canyons. When it falls as rain, it brings life to dry ground. And friend, you are like that drop. You may not see the full impact of your life right now, but God is using you in ways you can't even imagine. Every smile, every word of encouragement, every time you choose love over hate, it all counts. Maybe right now, your life feels ordinary. Maybe you're changing diapers, punching a clock, or walking the same old path day after day. But what if I told you that nothing in God's economy is ordinary? A shepherd boy named David was just tending sheep until God made him a king. A young girl named Esther was just another face in the king's harem until God placed her there for such a time as this. And you, yes you, are right where you're supposed to be, because God doesn't waste a single moment of your life. Some of you are carrying heavy burdens. You're thinking, how could God have a purpose in this pain? But pain is never pointless in His hands. That illness, that loss, that heartbreak, God can use all of it to shape you, strengthen you, and prepare you for what's ahead. The very thing you thought would break you may become the bridge that leads someone else to hope. I think of Joseph, sold as a slave, thrown into prison, forgotten by those he helped. For years, it must have felt like his life meant nothing. But God was working. Every betrayal, every dark day was part of a plan Joseph couldn't yet see. And one day, he stood before his brothers and said, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Friend, the same is true for you. The enemy may have meant to destroy you, but God is turning it for your destiny. The very things meant to silence you are becoming your testimony. The wounds you carry will one day heal others. That is the divine meaning of your life, not just what you do, but who you become through every storm. Right now, you may only see a tiny piece of the puzzle. But God sees the whole picture. That person you helped yesterday, that prayer you whispered in the dark, that dream you're afraid to chase. It all fits. You are part of a story so much bigger than yourself, a story of redemption, of hope, of heaven touching earth. So don't you dare believe the lie that your life doesn't matter. Don't you dare let the enemy convince you that you're just taking up space. You are alive at this exact moment in history for a reason. God didn't bring you this far to abandon you. He didn't breathe life into your lungs just to watch you wander without purpose. You were made on purpose, with purpose for a purpose, and nothing in heaven or earth can change that. Not your past, not your failures, not your doubts. God's plans for you are unstoppable. So, lift your eyes. Your life isn't small. Your story isn't over. And the best part, you're just getting started. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you thanked God for your struggles? When was the last time you looked at the storm raging around you and whispered, "Lord, I trust you," even in this? If you're like most people, your prayers have been more about escape than embrace. You've begged God to remove the pain, to erase the hardship, to spare you from the fire. But what if I told you that the very thing you're begging God to take away is the very thing He's using to prepare you for greatness? You see, we have it all wrong. We think the purpose of life is to avoid suffering, to find the easiest path, the smoothest road, the most comfortable journey. But God never promised us easy. He never promised us painless. What He did promise is that every trial has a purpose. Every tear has a lesson. Every struggle is shaping you into the person you were born to be. Think about a lump of clay in the hands of a potter. At first, it's just a messy, formless heap. But then the potter starts to work, pressing, molding, squeezing it into shape. From the clay's perspective, it probably feels like torture. Why are you pushing me? Why are you turning me? Why does this hurt so much? But the potter knows something the clay doesn't. Pressure creates purpose. Without it, the clay would never become a masterpiece. And friend, you are that clay. The pressures you're facing right now, the financial strain, the health battle, the family crisis, they're not random. They're not punishment. They're preparation. God is using every single one of them to mold you, to strengthen you, to build in you a faith that cannot be shaken. Look at the life of David. Before he was a king, he was a shepherd. Before he fought Goliath, he fought lions and bears. Oh, those lonely nights in the fields, those terrifying battles with wild beasts, they weren't interruptions to his destiny. They were his destiny. God was using those trials to teach him how to trust, how to fight, how to lead. And when the moment came to face Goliath, David didn't panic. Why? Because God had already prepared him in the hidden places. Some of you are in your own wilderness right now. You feel forgotten. You feel like God has left you to struggle alone. But listen to me. The wilderness is where God does His deepest work. It's where He strips away everything you've been leaning on. Your money, your reputation, your own strength. So you learn to lean on Him. And when He brings you out, when He brings you out, you won't just be free. You'll be unstoppable. I think of Joseph again, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, forgotten in prison. For years, it looked like his life was over. But in that prison, God was working. He was teaching Joseph how to interpret dreams. He was preparing him to save a nation. And when the time was right, God promoted him in a single day. What if Joseph had given up in the pit? What if he'd lost hope in the prison? He would have missed his purpose. And friend, that's exactly what the enemy wants for you. He wants you to quit in the middle of the struggle. He wants you to believe the lie that God has forgotten you. But don't you dare listen. Don't you dare let go. Because your breakthrough is coming. Your promotion is on its way. And when you look back, you'll realize that every trial, every tear, every sleepless night was necessary to get you where you're going. Some of you are carrying wounds that still feel fresh. The betrayal still stings. The rejection still hurts. And you're asking God, why did you allow this? But what if that pain is the very thing that will qualify you to help someone else? What if your mess is about to become your message? The world doesn't need more preachers who've never been tested. It needs overcomers, men and women who've walked through fire and come out with a testimony. So today, I'm asking you to shift your perspective. Stop seeing your trials as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities. That thing you're fighting right now, it's not here to break you. It's here to make you. The weight you're carrying isn't crushing you. It's building you. And one day you'll stand before others and say, I know how you feel. I've been there. And if God brought me through, He'll bring you through too. That's the power of a tested life. That's the purpose behind your pain. God isn't wasting a single tear, a single struggle, a single moment of your suffering. He's using all of it to prepare you, to position you, to propel you into your destiny. So hold on. Keep fighting. Keep believing your trials aren't your tomb. They're your launching pad. And when God is done, you won't just survive what you've been through. You'll thrive because of it. The best is yet to come. The victory is already yours. Now rise up and walk in it. There has never been another you in all of history. Not in the past. Not in the future. God broke the mold when He made you. Those fingerprints of yours, one of a kind. That laugh that bubbles up from your soul. Irreplaceable. That way you see the world, that passion burning in your chest, those dreams that keep you up at night, they weren't randomly assigned. They were intentionally implanted by the Creator Himself. Somewhere along the way, maybe you started believing you weren't special. Maybe someone told you to be more like so-and-so. Maybe you've spent years trying to shrink yourself to fit into boxes that were never meant to hold you. But I'm here with a fire in my bones to tell you, the world doesn't need another copy. It needs the original masterpiece that is you. Think about this: when God imagined you, He didn't consult a committee. He didn't hold a vote. The angels didn't weigh in with suggestions. The Creator of galaxies looked into eternity and said, I want this one exactly like this, at this exact moment in history. Your quirks, on purpose, your peculiar talents, deliberate. Even the things you see as flaws, God is planning to use them in ways that will leave you breathless. Consider Moses at the burning bush. He argued with God. I'm not eloquent. I'm slow of speech. But God didn't say, you know what, you're right, let me find someone better. No, he thundered back, who made man's mouth? Who made man's mouth? That stutter Moses hated. God was about to use it to shake Pharaoh's throat. That staff in his hand, just a simple shepherd's tool, became the rod of miracles. Why? Because God doesn't call the equipped, He equips the called. And friend, you are called. Right now you might be looking at others and thinking, oh, why can't I be like them? But what if the very thing you're wishing away is your secret weapon? That quiet spirit you see as weakness? It might be the exact calm someone in chaos needs. That fiery passion people keep telling you to tone down? It might be the spark that ignites a revolution. That unconventional way your mind works? It might solve problems a normal people can't even see. I think of David standing before Goliath. Saul tried to dress him in royal armor, but it didn't fit. Why? Because David wasn't called to fight Saul's way. He was called to fight David's way with a sling, with stones, with the unshakable faith of a shepherd who'd already faced lions. The very things that made him different were the keys to his victory. And in your life, the things that make you you, those are your stones. Some of you are hiding your gifts because you're afraid they're not enough. That song in your heart, you're waiting until you sound like the worship leader. That business idea, you're holding back until you have all the degrees. That compassion for hurting people, you're silencing it because you don't have a counseling certificate. But let me ask you, since when does God need a resume? Since when does the Almighty require a pedigree? The Bible is full of unqualified people doing impossible things. A stuttering shepherd leading a nation, a teenage girl carrying the Messiah, fisherman turning the world upside down, a murderer of Christians writing half the New Testament. God isn't looking for perfect people. He's looking for available people, people who will stop comparing and start courageously being exactly who He made them to be. Maybe you've been waiting for permission. Maybe you've been longing for someone to finally see you, to recognize what you carry. Well, consider this your divine commissioning. The world needs what only you can bring, that unique blend of your personality, your experiences, your perspective. It's not an accident. It's a strategic assignment. There are people only you can reach. There are solutions only you can see. There is love only you can give in that particular way. The kingdom of God isn't waiting for some generic superhero. It's waiting for you to show up fully as yourself. So today, I dare you to stop apologizing for how God made you. Stop trying to edit yourself into someone else's image. That thing that makes you feel different, that's not your curse, it's your calling card. The world has enough followers. What we need are originals. What we need are people bold enough to believe that the way God wired them wasn't a mistake, but a master plan. Take a deep breath and say it with me. I am not a backup plan. I am not God's second choice. I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and the world will be different because I had the courage to be me. Now go, not as an imitation, but as an irreplaceable original. The stage is set, the world is waiting, and heaven is cheering you on as you step into the role only you were born to fill. This is your moment. This is your destiny. Now go be gloriously, unapologetically you. Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you will change everything. You are not here by accident. You are not just taking up space. The world around you, your family, your community, this generation needs what God has placed inside you. That love you have to give. Someone is starving for it. That voice of yours, someone is waiting to hear it. That light shining in your spirit, someone is lost in darkness, praying for exactly what you carry. Right now you might be thinking, but I'm just one person. What difference can I make? Let me answer that with another question. What if Mother Teresa had said that? What if Martin Luther King Jr. had believed that? What if Jesus himself had decided one life couldn't change the world? History isn't shaped by crowds. It's changed by individuals who dared to believe their life mattered. And friend, your life matters more than you know. Think about Esther, a young Jewish girl who became queen. When her people faced destruction, her cousin Mordecai sent her a message that echoes through time. Who knows, but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Esther 4:4. Those words weren't just for Esther, they're for you today. Where you are isn't an accident. The people around you aren't there by chance. God has strategically placed you right where you are because someone needs what only you can give. Some of you are hiding your light because you're afraid it's not bright enough. You're waiting until you feel ready, until you have more resources, more confidence, more qualifications. But let me tell you a secret. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs present people. That small act of kindness you hesitate to give, it could save a life. That word of encouragement you're holding back, it could pull someone back from the edge. That dream you're afraid to pursue, its fulfillment could change countless lives. I think of the boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish, John 6:1-14. He could have said, "This is nothing compared to the need." But when he offered what he had, as small as it seemed, Jesus multiplied it to feed thousands. And here's the miracle. God doesn't just multiply what we give. He multiplies the impact far beyond what we can see. That smile you gave the cashier today, it might have stopped her from ending her life tonight. That prayer you whispered for a stranger, it might unleash a chain reaction of miracles. Maybe you're thinking, but I don't have much to offer. Oh, if only you could see what heaven sees. That pain you've survived, it's given you compassion no untouched heart could ever know. Those tears you've cried, they've watered seeds of empathy that will comfort others. Those battles you've fought, they've trained you to lead others to victory. What you carry isn't just for you, it's for everyone who will cross your path. Some of you feel invisible, like no one sees or appreciates you. But I need you to understand, the most powerful forces in nature are often invisible. You can't see the wind, but it moves mighty ships across oceans. You can't see gravity, but it holds planets in orbit. And your influence, your quiet acts of love, your unseen prayers, your faithful perseverance, is moving mountains in the spiritual realm that will one day become visible. I think of a story about a man walking along a beach covered with stranded starfish after a storm. As he watched another man tossing them back into the ocean, he said, There are thousands. You can't possibly make a difference. The man picked up another starfish, threw it into the sea, and replied, "It made a difference to that one." Friend, you may not change the whole world, but you can change someone's entire world, and that is why you're here. Right now, the enemy is whispering lies. You're not enough. Your efforts don't matter. No one cares. But I'm here to declare the truth. You are exactly what this world needs. That unique combination of your gifts, your personality, your experiences. It's a divine recipe designed to impact lives in ways no one else can. So today, I challenge you. Stop waiting for permission to shine. The world doesn't need another celebrity. It needs you. Your neighbors need you. Your coworkers need you. That person you'll pass on the street tomorrow needs you. They don't need a perfect, polished version of you. They just need the real you, showing up with whatever love, hope, or help you have to offer. Remember, the light doesn't complain about the darkness. It simply shines, and the darkness flees. Your love doesn't have to be loud to change lives. It just has to be given. Your voice doesn't have to be famous to be heard. It just has to speak truth. Your light doesn't have to be blinding, just consistent. So go today, not as someone trying to be everything to everyone, but as exactly who you are, carrying exactly what you have to a world that's waiting for exactly what only you can bring. The stage is set. The need is great. And this very moment is why you were born. Now go light up your world.